Newcastle United, hear me and hear me clearly. Just because you won the AFL Cup, just because you got Champions League football, you're not a big dog yet. Know your place in the food chain. All right? There's levels to this. All right? Manchester United snatching Manchester United snatching two players from you, Benjamin Sesko and Brian Mbemo. Know your place in the food chain. And knowing your place in the food chain also means just give us Isak, okay? Just give us Isak. Because if you've ever watched Animal Planet, you know that the lions win. The tigers win. The hunters win. The predators and the wild win. Stop fighting it. You can fight your survival all you want, but eventually you're going to get eaten up. And that's what just happened again. Benjamin Sesko to Manchester United. I was praying. I was hoping and praying that he would not go to Manchester United for obvious reasons. But the main one is because he's a class player. This is a great young striker, one of the best young strikers in world football, one of the hottest prospects in world football in the striker position. And they got him. After finishing 15th. They still got him. And what does that tell football fans? Gotta just realize this. There's a food chain in this thing. All right? Manchester United, Liverpool, at the top of the food chain, no matter what. No matter who's winning, those are the big dogs in England. Unless you're another big dog, unless you're Chelsea, unless you're Man City, unless you're Arsenal, the player is not choosing you over those big dogs. Let's just keep it at that. So Newcastle United, I'm wearing this black and white kit, kind of as a homage to Newcastle United, because I want to be as respectful to the club as possible. But you gotta know your place. You gotta know your place. All right. Benjamin Sesko. I made a video talking about the 5 available strikers in the market, the 5 main guys, right? Isak, Gyökeres, Osimhen, Sesko, Ekitike. And I said that I anticipated that they would all move. Gyökeres has gone to Arsenal, Ekitike has gone to Liverpool, and now Sesko's going to Man United, right? Technically, Osimhen went to Galatasaray. We'll see what happens with Isak. But I talked about Sesko and I talked about specific things that this guy has. The ability to create a chance out of nothing. The ability, the physical ability, the ability to win duels in the air. Jumping ability, jumping power, 6'4", 6'5", whatever the hell he is. Can jump, can run, is fast, can strike right or left. There are some things there to work with, some raw tools. But this guy is a specimen. And that's where you see football kind of going now. Specimens. Athletes. Everybody needs a Haaland variant. I'm not saying they can finish like him, but physical like him. 6'3" to 6'5". Isak, Ekitike, Osimhen, Haaland, Sesko. This is what teams are looking for. And Man United have gone him. And one thing about Man United that I always mentioned last season, they still created chances. It's not like they finished 15th and they were struggling to create. They still had chances. When you have a player like Bruno Fernandes that can create chances out of nothing, can pick a ball. When you have players like Amad Diallo that can find a pass, that can create something. Now you've added creative players like Cunha and Mbemo. Guys that can create for themselves, guys that make creative for, guys that can make something out of nothing. They can dribble, they can go outside, they can go inside, they can do all these things, create for a number 9. Now you're giving them a number 9. And look, people might say, oh, this is the same story with Xerxes, this is the same story with Højlund. It's not. I've never looked at Xerxes and Højlund and thought, wow, these are the best young strikers in the world. I've never thought that. Maybe some of you have, but I never saw that from them. They never gave me the impression that these guys can go on to be the best striker in the world. I never once believed that. With Sesko, I 100% believe that. I watched this guy dunk on my club in the Champions League, 4 years ago? Was it? The season where we played Red Bull Salzburg, and they had Holland, they had Minamino, they had Hee Chang Wang, they had all these guys. He was there too. And he dunked on us in the sorry, not Champions League, but in the following preseason, he dunked on us. There's a clip of him on the byline, literally dribbling around 3 players, just cooking, however he wants to cook. I knew then and there this guy is going to the top. Let's see what happens at Man United, because we know Man United loves to kill players' careers. But let's not even talk about anything negative in Man United today. Let's not even focus on any of those negatives. Let's focus on the player. They're getting a player that matches the style of play of Man United. Man United is not going to be a team that dominates you in possession. They're just not. They don't have the tools for that yet. We'll see what happens this season, but from what I saw last season, they don't have the tools for that. They didn't sign anybody in the back line to change anything. They didn't sign a midfielder that I can see changing anything. They signed forwards who you're not going to control the pace of the game. So it's going to be a lot of the same unless they bring in a top controller or a dictator of tempo, whatever. So they're still going to have a lot of counter-attacking, football in their game. And you just signed probably the best counter-attacking striker, in my opinion, available. Some might say Gyökeres, yes, I understand. Gyökeres is great. Even Ekitike, yes, he's great. But what I see from Sesko is the raw pace and the aerial ability and then the technique to match. This guy on the counter, whether it's you giving him balls over the top, whether it's him running with the ball at pace, this guy's class, man. And he's young. Man United have not signed Mbeumo, who 26, maybe. I think today's even his birthday, or yesterday was his birthday, whatever. Cunha, who's around the same age. You have Ahmad, who's 22, 23, whatever age he is. He's young. Lenny Euro, 20, around that age. Who knows if they go and sign Baleba now, 21. And then Sesko, 22. You just built a young core with a bit of maturity, but still young enough. They're slowly trying to build their team back. And when the rumors about, maybe they'll sign Watkins, even some rumors about maybe they'll sign Jackson, no. You don't need to sign a 29-year-old Watkins that's turning 30 next season or next year. You don't need that. You need a young striker, a young thoroughbred, because at the end of the day, Man United is not challenging for the Premier League. So there's no use signing a mature player and saying, this is the guy who's going to take us to top 4. You're so far off of top 4 in terms of quality and in terms of just the experience of your manager. You're far off the pace. So there's no point signing experienced players that can propel you to top 4, prepare you to the Champions League. There's no point doing that. So sign young talent that is either almost ready or getting or there, basically. Which is what they did. Mbeumo and Cunha are ready to perform now, and they're still young enough. Ahmad is still young. And now Sesko is young. So you signing young players and young enough players to where in the next 2-3 years you can slowly build your way back up to challenging for the Champions League, challenging for the title. And I did not want him to go there. I did not. The only hope that it doesn't work out is if Manchester United ruin him. Just the environment of the club that's ruined too many players. That's the only hope. Because if they take care of this guy the way they should, he's going to bang. And the reality is, Bruno Fernandes has created so many chances last season. I saw it with my own eyes. For Garnacho, for Højlund, for Xerxes. And they just missed. They fluffed their chances. I look at SofaScore, I see Bruno Fernandes, 5 key passes, 3 big chances created. I go watch the highlights. They're legitimate big chances created. And Højlund is just and don't even focus on the chances that he's creating. Focus on the non-chances because of the poor runs that Højlund makes. Because Xerxes just doesn't have the physicality and the pace to get him in behind certain positions in the Premier League. He could have had so many more assists last season. Man United could have scored so many goals. Man United, with a proper number 9, I firmly believe they finished in the top 10 last season. I firmly believe that. The advantage of having a good striker that can actually produce and do the things you need him to do in front of goal and all the things around it, hold up play, run in the channels, link up play, all these things, it takes the pressure off of your defense. Man United's defense were shaking every single moment that they're facing attack. There's so much pressure because if you concede here, the game is done. You can't rely on your attackers to score anything, to produce anything. If it's not Bruno, what can you rely on? Bring in a guy that you can at least, from what I know, from what I've seen, I watched Højlund at Atalanta. I watched Xerxes, the games I watched that Bologna played against the big clubs in Italy 2 seasons ago. I watched him. I never saw anything in them that I see in Sesko. When I watch Leipzig games and I see the way he interchanges with Xavi Simons and Luis Openda, this is a much better talent than the other two. We'll see what he does with it, but he's a much better talent than the other two, by far. And the world knows it. The world has talked about Sesko for the last almost 4 years in a different light than they have about Xerxes and Højlund. We know this. We've seen what he does for his national team. Slovenia is not a team that should be impressing anybody. No disrespect to Slovenia as a nation or their football team, but they're no team that should be impressing anybody. Yet every time I see him for Slovenia, he's the best player. He stands out above the rest. He's had that pressure of basically being Slovenia's savior for how many years now? I think he's better positioned to succeed in Man United than the other two. And I think he will. Because I like him as a player. I would love for Sesko to score 20 goals every season and Man United finish 8th. That's the most ideal scenario. But the odds of that happening are very low. Because if he scores 20, then chances are they're challenging for Europe, challenging for top 4. But I like the guy. I like watching him play. I like elegant players, lanky players, tall players, skillful players, physically strong, can strike a ball like no other. That goal against Bayern, have we ever seen Højlund or Xerxes score a goal like that? Or even be in a position like that? We have not. And I don't think we will. But I think we will with Sesko. So let's see how it plays out. I'm hoping the best for him. I don't wish, just because you play for Man United, I don't wish any player any, ill will. If I like you as a player, I like you as a player. Anytime Man United plays us, I hate them. Anytime they don't play us, hey, go crazy, bro. Do what you gotta do. But Man United fans, how do you feel about this signing? Because it's another young player. It's another kind of project player. Someone that needs to be nurtured a little bit. There's some raw elements to his game. He dribbles with his head down a lot of times. Decision making the wrong pass instead of shooting in the wrong position instead of passing. There's some things to work out there, some kinks to work out in his game. But how do Man United fans feel about the player? How feel about the signing? Feel about how he kind of meshes with Fernandes, Cunha, and Mbeumo, and even Ahmad. How do you feel about that? Let me know what your guys' thoughts. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you very, very soon. God bless.